Hey guys, here we are. This is Başak.
Hey guys, this is Kate. Here we are.
Hey Kate, welcome. Welcome to our, I don't know how many episodes has been, 20 something.
Yeah, I think this is our 25th.
And it's going to be a very exciting episode because we have a very exciting personality that we are welcoming today.
Yes.
Barbara, would you please turn on your camera? Hi.
You were here. There you are.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Barbara.
Lovely to see you. I need to make an introduction for Barbara. And she's a very soon, quickly becoming a very beautiful friend in our lives. Barbara Edelston Peterson is an author, motivational speaker, sports psychologist, world-class athlete, mother, and a grandmother. She holds dual master's degrees in clinical psychology and Eastern philosophy. And she's the author of 6 books, including, which we are going to talk about today, KVELL, A Word You Should Know. In addition to being a 10-time world champion triathlete, Barbara is the founder and CEO of Whole Champion Foundation, a non-profit promoting awareness, responsibility, and activism in education and sports. She lives in Santa Barbara, California. It's very early for you to join us from all the way California. Welcome, Barbara.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's early, but the sun is up. And
Right.
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yes, we are recording on Halloween. We will be putting it on Monday, but this is a fun day, joyful day.
Yeah. So I'm going to just jump in with our first question. There's so much that you have done, Barbara, and you are doing, but we just wanted to start sort of with well, here, let's just start with the first question. So you have lived many lives in this one life, athlete, psychologist, philosopher, writer. How do these seemingly different paths weave together on your journey?
Okay, well, I call it a flourishing fabric. And it came up the other day just talking with someone who asked something similar. Um, Everything weaves in through the framework of love. I couldn't do what I do if I didn't absolutely love what I'm doing. And certain things have just emerged because I'm an elder now. And, we go through different phases in life, but I've always been an athlete. I've always been a writer. And I didn't know that I would end up being the CEO and founder of this nonprofit, but somebody lit a fire in my heart, and I'm someone who is multitask. I'm a
Yeah.
multitasker.
Yes, I can see that. So do you ever say no?
That's such a great question. Actually, more and more I say no to certain things that won't serve me or other people. I just say no, and I realize boundaries are important, very important.
Yeah.
But I raised my daughters with a big yes in my heart. We did everything, but not if it was dangerous. But I say yes. In fact, when I'm competing, um, I'm never negative. I say the words, yes, I can, probably a million times in
Wow.
the 3.5 to 4.5 hours that I'm out there on the course.
That's a champion's mindset. That would be my question. How do you see the connection between physical endurance and mental resilience?
Well, first of all, it's a skill, I think. I don't think that's something that occurs for everybody. But again, to love what we do. And for instance, um, to be out there and enduring the physical means we have determination, we have stamina, we are enjoying ourselves. So I have a thing in as a sports psychologist called game face. When I'm training people or coaching people, and even myself, I we put on our game face. And stand F face is an acronym. F is for fun. If we're not having fun, I don't think a lot's going to happen, and we're not going to endure very successfully. A is ambition. If we don't have ambition, or if we aren't ambitious, chances are we won't perform and we won't have fun, because ambition is part of the joy, at least for me. And
Yeah.
it's part of like the secret sauce that just keeps us moving and moving here and moving physically. C is for creativity or consistency. And it depends who I'm working with, but with myself, it's mostly consistency. Um, just if I want to write, if I want to compete, if I want to bake, and bake successfully, I do it and I keep working at it and perfecting it, although I don't believe in perfection. And E stands for excellence. I really, and again, excellence isn't perfection.
Yeah.
Excellence is really knowing we've done our best
Right.
and the outcome is something that we appreciate.
Interesting. So in that acronym, I want to talk about the ambition a little bit, because do you think that's something that someone can cultivate in themselves, or do you just have ambition and you don't, or you don't? What do you think about that?
That's a great question. Ambition is a state of mind, it's a mindset, and it's passion, determination, resilience. Um, ambitious is, and being ambitious is not for everybody, but it's a special skill that I think we decide we want and we want to live with. I live ambitiously. And people have said, why don't you just relax a little bit? It's like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I really don't want to. I have things to do, places to go, people to see.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I,
Yeah, many, many achievements to have. I mean, we have to talk about your new book, Quell. We read the book, Kate and we absolutely
oh,
adore it.
Yes.
Um, According to your book, Quell means to beam with deep pride or joy, to gush over someone you see doing good, trying, or achieving. What inspired to make the Quell the title of this book and the message that you wanted to share with the world?
thank you, Bashak, for asking that question. So, KVELL is a word you should know. A word you should know is the subtitle. Most people know a variety of Yiddish words, and it's part of the English vernacular.
Yeah.
Words like kafetch,
Vet. Yes.
words like klutz, schmuck,
Yep.
klep,
Mm-hmm.
chutzpah, um,
Chutzpah.
chutzpah, and orienta, or there are
Chutzpah.
so many Yiddish words, and they're negative. And kafel is something that I think has made me who I am, because inside our family, there was lots of Kvelling, encouragement. And it wasn't, Kvelling isn't a compliment. And you said it, Bashak, perfectly. Kvelling is noticing and acknowledging and praising and encouraging effort and achievement. Sometimes achieving the goal isn't part of the story, but the effort somebody puts in, whether it be a child or a friend, a mother, a daughter, a stranger, a doctor. Um, a, I felt once over a lifeguard. You probably read that story in the
Yeah.
book. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, that guy is going the extra mile to explain to all the people on the beach that there are bees and they should be careful. That's doing a good job. He's
Yeah.
going the extra. And um, so Kvelling, got left out, Vashak, to answer your question. And I really wanted the world to also not only know the word, but to KVELL.
Yeah.
And my whole purpose is really to elevate people and for a better world. And that's my life work. It's really encouraging awareness, responsibility, activism, and KVELLing for a better world.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is amazing. And actually, I have to say that it's already seeped into me because my mother is living with me for a little bit. And
Mm.
she's been working on a paper. She's 85 and she's writing this paper. And I've been encouraging her. And then I just realized I'm cavelling. I'm cavelling because this is what she's focusing on. She needs a little bit of extra support. And, and I realized, and it's interesting how you said it's not complimenting. That's a different thing. It's this encouragement. It's this I am behind you. I am supporting you. All
Yes, I mean, the difference it makes in somebody, Kate, if I were to say I'm I really like your hair this morning, that's a compliment.
yeah.
It has nothing to do, well, you probably did put some effort into your hair, so good job. Well, it's
No.
gorgeous. But it's a compliment, and kindness is different. So Lady Gaga and so many wonderful people out there, Dalai Lama has done a kindness campaign.
Yes.
This is a KVELL campaign. This is a KVELL movement, and it's different. And the big thing about KVELL is that people don't express themselves and letting someone know that, wow, that's a great job. They might think it, but they don't express it openly.
This is so
And
true. I find that so much. This summer, I'm sorry, I'm interjecting, but
no,
this
please.
summer I was, I think, doing that with a waiter in the restaurant, and my mother was like, "Wow, nobody really takes time to say somebody that they are doing a good job. That's amazing that you do that." And I'm like, "That's to me, that was so natural. He was doing a great job. I wanted to say something." But that's exactly what you're talking about, and I feel that I might have read Quell around then. That must be the influence, but thank you for that. Yeah, I think that made that person's probably day that day.
Yeah. And but now we have a word for it, which is what you've brought. And it's going to elevate this whole behavior. I mean, it's brilliant.
It's, so many people, no matter how successful we are or whatever, doubt themselves. It's part of
Yeah.
human nature. We don't always know we're on the right track or what we're doing is being received. And when someone says, wow, I mean, you really are doing something, whatever it is, it makes all the difference. And we go higher.
Right. And you
It's
make a connection with someone that you wouldn't have made a connection with, which is huge.
Thank you for saying that. It's huge. Kvelling is all about elevating, connecting, uh, flourishing.
Yeah. So can we delve into this more difficult question? So, so how would you define true positivity? Because there's some people who might say, just being all like positive all the time isn't realistic. If you were having naysayers, which I know you're not
Yeah.
a naysayer, you're a yay sayer,
No.
but
Okay. So true positivity. The first thing that comes to my mind is the yes, I can. Just being making a choice. The one thing about Kvelling cancels kvetching. Kvelling cancels cruelty. Kvelling is so much nicer than kvetching. It's very positive, just in the Kvell framework. But uh, positivity, it's a belief in oneself. I mean, I have an expression that I hold very near and dear to my heart, which is courage is my God. You know, I don't always know which direction to go in and which word to speak next or what project I think would benefit me and the world. But I take, I think about courage, and it's my God, really.
When you
And
said courage, I think in our private conversations, you mentioned this specific story. where you were in the triathlon event and you injured yourself. Can you tell us about that story and how you put the courage forth to overcome that in that moment?
And is this the heels? Is this the
Yeah.
broken heels?
Oh,
Because
no,
there,
Yeah.
no, no. The broken, there wasn't the wave.
Oh, the
The
wave. Yeah.
okay,
the
okay,
wave.
okay. Well, because there's a few stories, that's for sure. I mean, once I was in Spain and the race morning was night. The days before the race, it had been pouring rain and drizzle, and I was like, oh wow, okay. And this is a surf town. I didn't really get it the morning of the race, and this is not the story, but it was 98 degrees, crystal clear, and the waves were 20 foot high. I'm going to say another wave story in
Yeah,
a second,
yeah.
but I thought, well, okay, I'm doing what I love, and if I don't make it through, at least will have gone doing what I love. The waves were breaking out at the farthest buoy. But the wave story, um, I get a little emotional about it, but basically the ocean changed while we were out swimming, and it was a rogue situation. And the women came in to 20-foot beach breakers. And I know I'm not the biggest ocean swimmer. I mean, I love swimming in the ocean, but not in huge swell like that. So we came in, and I don't really know how I made it, but you get very solid and you just ride the wave in. Well, in this case, 20-foot wave, and I crashed as hard as you could possibly imagine on my head. And I do have some issues actually. And when I got back to Berkeley, where I lived, this is all happening in Maui, my internist started crying because I had lost an inch and a half. My spine had compressed. But anyway, I got out after 3 waves and I had to get help, and there was no capper goggles on, and my braid had gone into my mouth while I was underwater, and it was a very scary situation. But I saw my rival on the beach, and I hope I'm going in the right direction here. But I saw my rival on the beach, and I was like, what happened? Like, um, what are you doing? She goes, I broke my back. So I just thought, well, I'm so sorry. But they pulled all of us over to the medical tent, and I was like, no, I have to get to my bike. And so anyway, all I had to do, I don't even know if this is what you want me to be saying, Vishak, but
No, no, whatever the story was, that was so good. What an
basically, I
example.
saw her and it was like, you know what? I'm going for my 8th world title today. She's out, and all I have to do is really finish. And I need to get on that bike. It's not going to be a pretty picture. My eyeball was like out to here. I don't even know why I didn't lose my eyeball. I don't know why a woman my size didn't, my whole body wasn't crushed.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very hard day.
Well,
For
I just find so much in this that, you could easily focus on what is wrong in that moment, which is a lot of things were wrong in that moment, right? Especially your physical self. That's like the first that comes to mind for protection. But you actually got a message in that moment. You actually were able to see outside of yourself what's happening in that moment, get the message and act on it. And you said, no, I'm not going to focus on what's negative. I'm going to focus on what might be possible. To me, that is so inspiring.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will say, if my family had been there, and for years and years and years, the family was always there, but at a certain point, uh, there are other things to do. If my family had been there, they would have said, "You're not going
No.
anywhere."
Yeah.
And I probably would have listened, but in my mind, it was like, keep moving. And again, I have things to do, places to go, pedals to pedal. And
So,
mhm.
you, I just want to go back to you mentioned word flourishing, which I love that word so much. I think it's just such a joyful, really happy word. Um, so
I
you
agree.
studied Eastern philosophy. How did that influence the way you understand this flourishing and happiness, the idea?
I think probably there's a balance. One of the greatest things that I got out of my master's in Eastern philosophy, it was East West, but psychology and philosophy, but I am let's say I am a type A and I really go for stuff. I am ambitious. But on the other hand, I also value balance. And I said a couple of times today about perfection. There is no such thing. And I'm okay also with saying it's okay. Just we do our best. Um, and I really mean that. The integrity of that, we do our best. Well, if you're going to do it, then put on that game face. But if things don't work out in life, whatever it is, my broken heels, that day with the wave, with certain things with my daughters, you just do our best. We just, if we need to just be silent. You know, I, at one point in my first pregnancy, I was bedridden. I was bedridden for 3 months. Now, for someone like Barbara to be bedridden, that
It's torture.
is it's unbelievable. And my husband and I did so well. I had to write a book. And so I wrote a book that was called The Bed Rest Survival Guide. But you know what it was going to be titled? I think you'll like this, Bashak. It was going to be titled The Tao of Bed Rest. And
I
here's
like that.
why. Here's why. I found a way to be so active on one hand and completely still on the other hand.
Beautiful.
And that is the essence of my book. But my publisher in New York City was like, no, we're not naming it the Tao of Bed Rest.
I wonder if that's a timing thing. Like if that was written now, they might have said that would work because just the whole Eastern philosophy is more embraced now in the West, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, it was 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might have a good point there.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about this transition you had from being this, I mean, this world-class athlete to then now focusing on your not-for-profits and this sort of change? How did that come about? Was there a change in you or on your focus? Could you speak into that a bit?
Yes, thank you, Kate. There is a change in me, and everyone notices it. The athlete in me will never die. She is strong and a daily force. But my writing, the KVELL book, the whole person, just whoops, had my children's book
Oh, yes.
translated into Spanish.
So
And
what's the
this,
name of your children's book? Will you just read that? It's In My World.
yeah.
Beautiful.
And then, en mi mundo, I don't speak Spanish, but a dear friend translated it for me. I mean, I have all of these workbooks, teacher student workbooks. It's a big, I don't even know how this all happened, but again, it's that love. I just am loving what I'm doing. It's the most important to me thing to me right now, besides my daughters and my family. Um, it's there's a whole nother story, and I don't know if we have time for it, but I did have an epiphany and realized I was living in a very exclusive, self-absorbed bubble, and it wasn't okay. And the ambitious girl in me was like, how fast can I change? And, you know, I want to be a champion in sport, but I want to be a champion of humanity. I want to be a champion of the environment. Oh, I want to be a whole champion. And so the nonprofit is Whole Champion Foundation. And what that all boiled down to was really being a whole person who makes the world better. A whole person makes the whole world better. And this book, I am so proud of this book because it's really a little Bible for being a good person, for being a good citizen. And I don't leave a stone unturned, really. And then
So
I
you have
wrote,
a lot that you're sharing in your book, but if you could offer one piece of advice to someone seeking more meaning or love, lightness in their life, what would that be?
oh, wow, KVELL yourself.
Oh,
It really starts with right here. And we we were born with our own blueprint. We have our own integrity and say yes, not know. And just treasure who you are as your own unique human being who has his or her own path, and
Beautiful.
go. And if the path goes left or right or up or down, it's great. It's really
So
great.
beautiful. In yoga, we would say, be your best friend, it's not your worst enemy. That's exactly what you're speaking into. I love that. And how do you quell yourself? How do you self-quell?
It's, it's so funny. I did on one of my posts, for the KVELL book, there I am being videoed saying somebody KVELLed over me, and I was just like, wow, that felt pretty good. The big thing when I'm competing or when I'm really struggling, I just go in and say, yes, I can. Yes, I can. But more and more, I'm just really so excited. Like I'm saying, more and more, I'm so excited about this life,
Yeah.
this wild life that I'm living, and I've created it and I want it. And no, I probably am not the best at relaxing, but I don't really want to. But I sleep really well at night.
That's key. That is key. But the Kvelling is really like the self-talk that people have so much negative self-talk. So if we can just change that, that's going to be a big step, wouldn't you say? If we can start to do, as soon as you do something negative about yourself, if you can switch that to something positive, it's going to be a start for people.
Yeah, and wow, negative talk is just
Yeah.
um, it's bad. It's very destructive. And again, this book, it's the whole it's about awareness, and it starts with self. And there's more than half the book is about personal responsibility, making those choices. And self-talk, positive self-talk is right here. I don't know if I've sent you a copy, but I will. And if anyone wants a copy of any of these books,
Yeah,
please
we will have to put it
contact
on
these
our
guys
chat.
and we'll make that happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll put a link in to where people can purchase these books and more
Yeah.
information about what you're doing.
I have another question that your books almost had an evolution from a very colorful, very vibrant to very subtle and very quiet with the quell. Was that almost a example of the transition that you are going through? Why is that, do you think?
No, it has nothing to do. This book is so, all my books
Colorful.
are so colorful. And what I don't have right here is the whole athlete. So there's a whole athlete makes the whole world better. Everything is super colorful. This was printed in Canada on super eco paper from landfill. I want the content to touch people and the aesthetic to touch people, but I want the touch to let people know that this is, we're caring about the environment and we're recycling all the paper. This is created from a publishing house inside my nonprofit, and we publish and distribute anyone and everyone's writing, poems, films that align with our message. So this is created by Treehouse Press.
Ah,
I think
Beautiful.
that's the Treehouse Press for the children's book. Although Ingram did that book. I mean, they printed it,
yeah.
but it's all published by Whole Champion. This was published by Simon and Schuster. And this
Kvel
it looks
was.
like this,
Yes.
Kvelling. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have any say. And when it arrived, it's honestly, when it arrived, I was like, oh, oh, oh,
It's not quite
okay.
your colors. It's not quite your
Not quite my style, but I
no.
think the inside,
Is. Yeah.
one of my dearest friends who's very smart and worldly and very involved with humanity. She read this book in one sitting. We were together in Mexico. And when I came back, she was like, Barbara, it's so good. And I was like, oh, phew.
You.
So I think my point there is that the content of the KVELL book is
Yes.
much brighter than the
Yes.
aesthetic.
That's
Yeah.
so lovely.
Yeah. It's perfect. That's perfect. Oh my goodness.
So what's your next, journey? What are you professionally, personally? How do you continue to spread this message of joy and empowerment?
It's very exciting. I am getting into a docu-series right now with Whole Champion and all the let's see. Oh, well, when I speak again, I'll have the Whole Champion logo behind me. But the logo has a ribbon of colors across the planet, and it's representing all people of all color, all gender, all ages, from all walks of life, who stand up. We can all stand up, step up for a better world. And what we're going to do, there are so many causes that need help. The docuseries, you're going to press one of the colors, and it's going to be a person who is working for a cause. The film, the docuseries is real impact. What does that look like? Where does that happen? Who does that? And it's young people, next generation of leaders. So that's that docu-series. And then we're doing an animation film on KVELL, to really show like what KVELL is and what kvetch is and what
That's
klutz
great.
is, and all the negative words next to the sunshiny KVELL.
That's great.
Um, and so that's a big thing because the books, they're getting out there, but a film, I
We'll
feel
get out there.
is
People,
a
I
better
think, watch
way.
it more than they read it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Great.
Well, we are right about at our time, but this was such a beautiful, wonderful, joyful, exciting, energetic
Flourishing.
conversation.
Well, I feel felled over,
Oh, good.
and I hope your listeners enjoy this. I'll wake up any morning to talk with both of you.
Oh,
I'll
we'll
wake up
definitely have
early.
to bring you back. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you. And we wish you much success and joy in your endeavors going forward. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. And let's play out some music to dance to as we go. Why not? Oh, it's
Bye,
mellow
everyone.
dance.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Bye.